me if I have some specific comments about the performance of Dr. Snipes and the Office of the Supervisor. I would tell you this. I don't believe there's any way that you can look at the last 15 years when our voter turnout has been dramatically low, when there are places like in Davie. Anybody live in Davie? Great. Well, you know that the early voting location in Davie is the Davie Cooper City Library on Griffin Road. There are only 44 parking spaces in that area, in that location. The manager of the early voting location came out to me when I was there last March and said, please, when you get elected, please move this as an early voting location. People drive around, they can't find a parking space, they leave, it's ridiculous. Anybody go vote near Coral Ridge Mall? Coral Ridge Mall, early voting is supposed to be from, in March at any rate, from 9 in the morning to 7 at night, including the weekends. Yes, sir. The problem with Coral Ridge Mall that the supervisor takes great pride in saying, I chose that, it closes at 6 o'clock. People were knocking on the doors in the last hour of voting on both Sundays because they couldn't vote. Is that voter suppression? A lot of people come up and tell me that it is. If you Google Broward Supervisor of Elections, you will get chapter and verse on all the problems from the last 15 years. You'll find that there were 960 absentee ballots one election that were found in a bag 10 days after the election. And the supervisor's comment was, well, when we counted them, it wouldn't have changed any elections. Well, I'm sorry, that's just not good enough. And I'll tell you something else. There needs to be an integrity and ethics policy in that office. The attorney for that office is allowed to be involved in giving money and supporting races, even though that could end up being a conflict of interest, as it was in the commission race of Mark Bogan. She takes money, contributions from her own employees. I would never do that. And even though I think her performance has been mediocre at best, the legislature and the governor just gave her a $16,000 raise. I've already said publicly, I won't accept that raise, at least until Broward County gets up to the statewide voter average. So that's a sense of the kind of ethics and integrity I'm going to bring to the office.